So hello everybody and welcome. Today I'm really excited to be talking to Lucy Steele. So hi Lucy.
Hi everybody.
And Lucy's going to be talking today about how she overcame physical pain using EFT and Matrix Reimprinting, but also how she transformed her experience in the past, in her childhood, of sexual abuse. So just to pre-warn people, we're not going to go into too much detail and content, but we are going to be talking a little bit about abuse. So Lucy, welcome. And could you just start off by telling us a little bit about, let's just start with your physical pain in your foot. Tell us how that came about and how you transformed that pain.
Yeah. Well, I'd fallen off a horse with my foot downwards and I fractured my ankle. And I was about 21, 22. And then I'd lived with the pain of that for about 20 odd years and thought, well, I've got arthritis, that's just it. And I used to tell my story and have a laugh. And anyway, so I started doing Matrix Reimprinting on it, see if I could get the pain down. And suddenly I was overwhelmed with fears of, well, with feelings of fear and guilt. Oh my goodness, it was quite overwhelming. I didn't realize how many feelings and emotions were trapped in that injury. I did about 2 or 3 sessions, and now I have no pain at all. No pain at all. And I was having about 90% pain. Every time I walked, I could definitely feel it was there. And it's cleared. Yeah, it's amazing.
Wow. And how long ago did you do those sessions on your foot?
5 years ago.
Okay, and nothing's come back again?
There's been a couple of twinges, and then I looked at my life and I was like, oh, okay, maybe there's some sort of perception that there's a danger, and then once I acknowledged that, then the pain went. But the last 3 years, yeah, there's been nothing at all.
Excellent. Excellent. I just love these stories. I just think they're so amazing. It reminds me I need to work on my falling off a horse accident as well, because I've injured my neck doing that, and I've probably got a little story going on in there too. So Lucy, how did you discover EFT and Matrix Reimprinting? Was that your lead into finding it, or was there something else going on in your life?
I had dabbled with hypnotherapy, and about 2005 I discovered EFT, and I did a few courses. I dabbled in that, but nothing. It didn't stick. And then I was in another point in my life, and I started exploring EFT again. It's funny how it just sort of comes in waves. I'd bought Carl's books. I was doing a bit of research, and for about 6 months, everywhere I went, it was there, lying everywhere. It was just popping up. So I thought, right, there's a sign here. Signed up for Carl's course, and well, that's, the rest is history. It's changed my life, and I tried a lot of things. I tried a lot of therapies. I trained in a lot of things before, but the way that Matrix work goes so deep and so quickly in changing the belief and really into the psyche and the subconscious. I mean, it was right time, right place for me, and it really was empowering.
Yeah, beautiful. And it's also, I think, one of the biggest things for me is the fact that you can heal so many big traumatic events in your life without getting re-triggered into the trauma of what happened. And I know for you, I mean, I can imagine from you, anybody who's had some form of abuse or sexual abuse when they were younger, that is a potential big trigger for going back into the trauma. So is there a way that you could tell us, without getting too much detail, about how you transformed that experience for yourself?
So over the years, it would always be present, any work that I did or any part of my life, memories would always be present. And I would be living in fear, a bit paranoid, it knocked my confidence. No one knew really. They wouldn't be able to notice that, but it was this internal child that was really wounded.
How old were you at the time, Lucy?
Probably from between about 5 and 12.
Okay, so it was a number of events. And was it with the same person or a different person?
The same person.
Mm-hmm.
And I hadn't really acknowledged it until I was a teenager, and I hadn't told anybody.
So sorry, Lucy, that's an interesting point, because a lot of people who have not been in that situation go, well, why didn't you tell anybody?
I don't think as a child I had a reference of what was right or wrong. I now know, looking back, I felt it was wrong. But there was a reward because I was getting comfort and distraction and love there, but it had a payoff for that other person, and I was stuck in the middle of that, and it wasn't something that I felt I had a voice for. That time, being so young.
So when you spent some time in sessions going back to your younger self, how did you help her?
So all the time, any practitioners that I worked with, we stayed really safe. We went to after the time and just did a lot of tapping in the matrix, worked on knowing that she was a survivor and just detaching the emotions from the event. So it felt in the end that it happened to me, it wasn't me.
Right.
It didn't define who ultimately I am inside. And it took quite a few sessions, and a lot of the time I'd be like, oh, I don't want to keep going back there. I don't want to keep going back there. But there were different elements, different aspects that needed to be worked on so I could then easily come, to the point that I am now, really, which is able to talk about it. Because prior to Matrix Reimprinting, I'd just be in floods of tears if I would be talking like this about it.
Okay, so there was a lot of shock, I'm guessing, for your little self in those situations, and having gone back and released that shock for her. What Carl talks a lot about beliefs. So if you could you share some of the beliefs that you discovered that your little self was holding, and how those have carried on in your life, affecting you?
Yeah. So I didn't have a voice. So that, I felt like I couldn't speak up, and a lot of the time I would go here, and then as an adult, I found it difficult to speak in front of an audience. Just to say what I really felt inside, that wasn't worthy. I didn't feel good enough, and that had a big repercussion in my relationships, where I was repeating the trauma, and I was repeating the abuse.
Yeah.
I didn't feel, I felt less than and ugly, very ugly. That was the reason I was chosen, as it were. I didn't understand at the time. And even before Matrix Reimprinting, I still didn't understand the whole way that the universe works. And I was still being a victim, I think, why me? So that's cleared.
And did you find that your choice in relationships that you were choosing were with men who were not somebody you would choose now?
Absolutely. And I actually turned around at one point and went, oh my goodness, I am repeating this relationship. And where I was the victim, and I was with somebody who was showing me the same sort of confusing and conflicting love-hate, I guess you could call it, expression. And I was accepting that. I was accepting being abused again, even though it wasn't really a conscious acceptance, but I was taking it because I'd taken it before. So obviously there's the one part of me that felt that that was all it's all I deserved. It was familiar, I guess.
Okay, so having cleared a lot of those traumas that you've experienced when you were that young, how has life changed for you now? Other than being able to speak out, of course, but what else has changed? Anything changed in your choice of men or your relationships with others?
Yeah, I'm much more conscious. I'm much more able to genuinely care. I cared before, but I wasn't able to really genuinely continue with caring because I was just wrapped up in myself. I'm more confident. I'm getting back to the person that I believe I am deep down. I am now helping other people as well. So that's that's really important. In a way, I can look back and go, because of what happened to me, it's given me the empathy and the understanding and the depth to be able to share that. Not that I share that with other people, but understand other people and what they've gone through without flinching, really. I'm not shocked by anything.
Yeah, I totally hear you. I always describe it as you almost carry that energy signature that other women who have been in that situation, they recognize, but it's also a safe signature now where they know that that's a safe container, so they can come and share their experiences with you and heal. So I totally understand that. So I'm guessing that the people that you work with now, do you attract a lot of women who have been abused, or a lot of people? It's not just women who have been abused, but do you attract those sorts of clients now?
I had a little look around at my clients recently, and I don't in the same way. I tend to attract wounded children, adults who were wounded as a child, who are actually really beautiful inside. And for me, it's just about whatever it is, whether it's a physical pain or emotional pain, that clearing that stuff so that their soul can shine. And I looked around, and although many of the women that I work with and men have got similar patterns to me, it isn't the same sort of format. I would say maybe 50-50. I guess I still get to the odd ones popping up that experience the same sort of abuse.
Yeah. So I know that also that you work with people who have challenges with eating, for instance. So that's become a passion for you.
Well, I remember eating to comfort myself
Okay.
5, and really had this sort of sword fight between my body and my mind. I must have cut my body off, as it were, so I didn't feel, and used food to deal with the anxiety. And so I've done masses of research and learning, and it's about looking at the behavior, because it's the mind that gets the hand to put the food in the mouth. And so going through the diet route and the weight loss in that context, it's so flawed. So I've spent many years looking, researching, and finding the key to help with the behavior, and I'm starting to do some really successful work with men and women in this area at the moment.
Excellent. So if somebody wanted to work with you, Lucy, and they really kind of identified with what you were saying here, how would they find you?
So can find me on Facebook and make a contact then. There I have a website called stillinmind.com, and I also have mindset-over-eating.com. So either of those are good, those 3 ways. So just give me a message, send me, call me if you want, and I can just have a little chat, just an informal chat, and see if we click.
Beautiful. So, and also if somebody was listening to this and has never told their story to anybody, what would you recommend would be their first step?
Find somebody who is Matrix Reimprinting practitioner, because I know that is a beautiful way to go. It's really healing. And not to be afraid, because it isn't them. It's somebody else that's come in and they've just been maybe at the wrong time in the right place, wrong time, wrong place. And it's important to wade through that, I think. And for me, it has been, and for other people that I've worked through, because it just penetrates every part of your life, every part of your mind. So you just almost get stuck as a child, being very childlike. and sometimes you just want to crack out of that negative energy and be able to sort of breathe freely again. So just make it known and try and find that voice, try and contact people that understand what they've been through.
Beautiful. And if you were to have a message for Carl Dawson, what would you like to say to him?
Thank you so much, Carl. It's been, I mean, he's so down to earth, he's so approachable, and he's just sharing this gift and with the world, and I'm just so privileged that somehow my energy ended up being on one of his courses and meeting all the fantastic people that he's trained. Yeah.
Awesome. Lucy, thank you so much. You're doing very valuable work with everything you're doing. So, and also thank you for speaking out and sharing your story with us. It takes some courage, but thank you.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks.